Hey beauties, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. My name is Winifred and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to make a shirt dress. It is a detailed tutorial and it is very easy to make. If this is what you would love to learn, watch till the end and don't skip any part. So without too much talking, let's get to the honey of this video. Let's go. I love you. Hey beauty, welcome to my channel. We are going to be starting with the pattern drafting, and the first thing I'm doing is to measure out the length of the dress or shirt. My pattern paper was not enough, but I'll be correcting the length when I'm cutting the dress. So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out 3 inches from the edge of the paper. That will serve as my button overlap space. Alright, I hope you understand. That will serve as my button space, button allowance for the gown. So I'm just marking out 3 inches all the way down and I'm connecting it with a straight line. So once that was done, it's time to start taking our body measurement. So the first thing I'm going to do is to take my shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 16 inches. So divided by 2 is 8 inches, and I added ½ inch to that, making 8.5 inches, and that is what I'm marking right there. And then I marked out my armhole depth also, and then I connected that with a straight line. So this will serve as my chest line. That point that the armhole stopped is going to serve as my chest line. I'm sorry that I'm using a pen. My marker faded out, so I'm using a pen. So I marked 3 inches width of neckline, and I went down from the armhole by 1 inch, and I created my shoulder slant. So the back neckline is going to be 1 inch depth, and the front neckline is going to be 3 inches depth. So once that was done, the next thing to do is to mark out my bust measurement. So from that new line that I created from that 3-inch mark, I'm going to be marking my bust divided by 4 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance, so making 2 inches. So that's my bust measurement. So I'm going to mark out my waist, my shoulder to waistline. So after I know where my waistline is, I'm going to divide my waist measurement divided by 4, and then I am going to mark it on the waist area. So my waist measurement divided by 4, and I'm going to add 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance. I'm just connecting with a straight line so you can know where the waistline is. So this was where the waistline is, and then I'm connecting the 2 measurements from the bust to the waist with a curve. The next thing we're going to be doing is to determine our hip line. So you can come down from the waist by 8 inches if you want, but I'm just going to come up from the shoulder. I'm going to come down by 25 inches because my client is quite tall, and that is going to give you 8.5 inches when you are done. So I'm going to draw a straight line now just to determine that this is the hip line. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to take my hip measurement. So I'm going to add my hip measurement divided by 4 plus allowance. So that's my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance, making 2 inches. So I'm going to connect that to the waistline right now with a curve. Make sure that there are no sharp edges because our body does not have edges. So whatever you have on the hip line, just come down to the M line and deduct 1.5 inches. You can deduct 1 inch if you want, but I think 1.5 inches will make it more pencil. If you've gotten to this point and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, why now? Please subscribe, like my videos, share with your family and friends, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out anytime I upload a new video. Thank you very much. So once that was done, I went to the armhole and I'm going to be determining the midpoint of the armhole, and I'm going to draw it down. So I'm going to be drawing the front armhole first, the back armhole first. Then I'm going to mark out ½ inch from that midpoint and curve out my front armhole. So once that is done, the next thing for us to do is to cut our pattern. So we are going to cut this pattern and use it to cut the back pattern. We are doing that because we need to do some modifications to the back and the front. So once that is done, I'm just going to fold this button allowance inside, and then I'm going to take a fresh pattern paper to draft my back pattern. All right, so once I was done, I took a fresh pattern paper and I'm just basically going to be cutting this exact measurement. Just I'm going to be making some few changes to the shoulder line. Don't mind my paper. My paper is not long enough, but when I'm cutting on the fabric, I'm going to make it longer. So now in the front part, you're going to deduct 1 inch from the shoulder of the front. The shoulder of the front, you're going to deduct 1 inch, and then you're going to replace that 1 inch to the back shoulder line. All right, the 1 inch you deducted from the front, you're going to replace it back to the back shoulder line. All right, so once that was done, you're just going to cut out the neckline. I'm going to cut out the neckline and also cut out the sides. So your back is meant to be 1 inch longer than the front, and that is because it has to overlap like that. It has to overlap like this to give it a very good fit, because it is a shirt gown. So that's our back panel. I'm just marking out all the allowances that I'll be needing for every point, and that is it. So I'm cutting out the front armhole now and the 1 inch that we deducted earlier, and I also went there to cut out the front neckline. So if your neckline area is looking like this, don't be scared. That is how it is meant to be. It's just to make it easier for us to sew, and there will not be any shortage. So once I was done cutting every part of the front, I went ahead to mark out at the side, or the down part at the side. I went ahead to mark out 2 inches, and then I connected it with a slant. So once that is done, I am going to be going to my ironing table. I'll fold this in by ½ inch, then I'll fold it again by 1 inch to create the button overlap. So now let's cut the back same way we did for the front. I'm trying to confirm the length of the dress before I cut it out. So I'm cutting it out now after I've already found out the length, and then I am going to cut out every other part as the same way. So now I've gone ahead to iron the button overlap space. I've gone ahead to iron it and I sew it. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to overlap the two fronts, as in the button side. I'm just going to overlap it on top of each other, and I am going to pin it down. I'm just going to lap it on top of each other like so, and we are going to use pins to hold it as if we are already using buttons. This is to make it easier for us to sew and to make it accurate. So after pinning it, we are going to take the back pattern, and then we are going to place it on the front pattern, right side facing right side. So you are just going to take it to the sewing machine and sew your shoulder line ½ inch, and then on the sides you are going to sew 1 inch. Remember, we added 1 inch seam allowance. So I've gone ahead to sew the shoulder, and I've sewn one side of the gown. But before I sew the second side, I want to show you something. Remember that our back is longer than the front with 1 inch. So that means when we have already aligned the armhole area and it's unfold like this, you're going to notch our new point, and that is where our sleeve cap will be sitting. So this is our sleeve, and then I've already attached sleeve to one side. So I want to show us how to attach sleeve to the other side. So this is the armhole, and this is the underarm area. So we are going to match up the underarm area of the sleeve with the underarm area of the cloth, and I'm going to be holding it down with a pin, and then I'm going to be attaching the cap of the sleeve with the cap of the dress. Remember, it's not starting at that point anymore. It's starting at the notched area, not at the sewn part like we usually do, because this is a shirt gown. So I'm going to align it now, and then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch it down. So once I'm done, I'm going to hem the down part, and then I am going to fix my collar. There is a separate tutorial on how to make a collar. I'm going to drop it in this video. So that you can learn from it. So when you are doing your buttonholes, just make sure that you put enough buttonholes. You can add 4 inches interval or 3 inches interval. And this was the final look. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching. Till I see you in the next one, I want you to know that I love you and I care. Bye. Papa.